Hello, I'm Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today I'm going to be sharing something really exciting. I've had this box of amazing goodies arrive from Cult Pens, and they've sent these to me partly to work on certain projects, but I really wanted to share everything with you before I start using it because there's some really lovely things in here. So I'm going to get everything out and talk you through what they've sent me. I'm going to start off with these lovely Stalogy books. So these are A6 size. And if you haven't tried Stalogy before, one of the first things I'm going to mention is the paper. It's really thin, but it's absolutely gorgeous to write on, and it holds up to fountain pen ink and watercolour really well. And this is called the 365 Days Notebook. And you probably won't be able to see it because it's really small, but you've actually got some months right at the top and then the dates underneath. So if you're using it every day, you could circle the month and the date and actually use it as a journal. So they've sent those to me in both the blue and the red. And I'd mentioned to Claire from Cult Pens at a recent meeting how well I was getting on with my Stalogy notebook. I bought this some time back and I've been using it for creative challenges over on Patreon, but particularly when I've been using watercolour. And I absolutely love the crinkly sound that you get with the Stalogy notebooks. When you've added watercolour, it has a really lovely crinkly sound to it. So it's been one of my favourite notebooks that I've started using this year. It's the first time I'd used Stalogy, and yeah, I've just got on so well with it. So really pleased to have another two there. These are both Stalogy brand as well, and they're described as circular masking tape patches. And because it says they're removable, I'm assuming they're a little bit like washi tape. So I'll have a quick look at these. Let's peel one off. Oh, okay, so there's different sheets in here. Yeah, so you can peel them off. They'd be really great actually for writing dates on or something like that. So I can see me using that in my different journals, say for date markings or even writing little small notes and things like that in. So yeah, they're both Stalogy brand. Next up, I've got both of these books by Flexbook. So I'm just going to open these up, get them out of their packaging. So this is the Blank Flex notebook. And so it's got 192 pages, it's 17 by 24 centimetres, and it's Fabriano ivory paper, 85 GSM. One of the major features of these Flex books is just how well they sit flat. And I'll show you one of my Flex books that I've got on the go at the moment. So yeah, this one I'd use probably for sketching, but I've actually been really surprised by how well my Flex book has handled other mediums as well. And so then I've got this book as well in the dotted paper, so the same size, and again with that Fabriano paper. And this is the one with the dotted paper in it. And again, in my meeting with Cult Pens, I was saying how well I was getting on with my Flex book. I've got a smaller size one here that I've been using as my creative journal. And I'd only used this for the first time this year, and it's handled fountain pen ink, brush pens, watercolour really well. It does crinkle the paper because it's not watercolour paper, but actually you can't see anything through on the other side. So I've been absolutely loving this book, and I think I'll probably continue using this notebook for some time to come, actually, this type, because I've just been so pleased with how well it's held up. And it's slimmer than an A5 size, though the same height, and that's been working really well for me as my creative journal. So it's really lovely to have another 2 of those books in the bigger sizes as well. Next up, I've got some Traveller's Company inserts, and if you know me, you know that I love using this size of insert. So I've got one with sketch paper, one that's blank, and one that's got watercolour paper in it. So again, I'll just get those out. So this is the regular blank insert. Traveller's Company paper is always beautiful to work on. And so it's this kind of insert that I tend to do my journal with me if I'm working in my traveller's notebook. So really lovely to have one of those. And then we've got the sketch one here. And something that's quite interesting, I can see it's perforated actually, so you could remove sheets from it. So that's going to be really great for sketching. And we've got a couple of short breaks booked, so I think it'd be great to have a little sketchbook and then a plain insert for documenting, and then being able to do watercolour and put all of these in my cover. So yeah, it seems beautiful. It's almost like card. I won't do any testing on these ones today because they're well reviewed everywhere. I know how well they hold up to everything, so watercolour and fountain pen ink. So you'll definitely be seeing these pop up on my videos in the future. Now this book I was really excited to see in here. The cover is just absolutely stunning. So this is by Esme. So it says here, Esme was founded in 2009, inspired by a fascination for Japanese design, time-honoured printing techniques and traditional bookbinding. And so this Esme works alongside a family-run silkscreen print studios in Japan to produce the covering papers. And then the actual materials inside are from European paper and fabric mills, and then they're hand bound in the south of England. This just looks so lovely. And because this is completely a new brand to me, I thought it would be good to do a little pen test in the back here. So I'm just going to move some of the other books out of the way so we can see how well this paper holds up. Okay, so I've used a pigment liner, a fountain pen, a brush pen and watercolour. On this end with the watercolour, I've put down the amount of paint that I'd probably usually use, but then I've dropped a lot of paint on this end to make it really pigmented, just to see how well it holds up on the other side. Okay, well that's really had no problems at all. You can see through it slightly, but there's absolutely no bleed through. It's held up to that beautifully, so I feel really confident that I'm going to be able to use this book in lots of different ways. Absolutely gorgeous book, in love with the cover. So in this box I've been sent some Esther Brook washi tape. I have seen their fountain pens around, but I've never tried out their washi tapes. So I'm going to open this up and I might actually put some swatches inside my Stalogy. So these are really pretty looking tapes. They've got lovely gold foiling details on them. So So I just think it's nice to see some swatches of washi tape. It's the best way of being able to see them clearly and the designs that are on them. So there's some really pretty washi tapes there. I don't know how well the camera's picking up the gold foiling details, but I think they're going to be really lovely to use on my journal pages. Okay, so the final things we've got left are 2 new inks. So I've got Robert Oster ink in Chalk Pudding. And I've also got some Diamine Writer's Blood. So again, I'm going to swatch these out so that you can see the colours. I'm going to start off with the Chalk Pudding. And one of my favourite ways to swatch inks is by using a cotton bud. So I'm just going to put that on here. Oh, that's a lovely earthy brown actually, really beautiful. And then I usually come and drop some more at the front just so that I've got something which records the kind of shades of the ink. I've just dried that off quickly so you can look at what the ink looks like when it's dry. Really lovely tones in there. And now I'll do the Writer's Blood. And again, that's looking really lovely, so I'll just give it another dry. Oh, I'm really pleased I did dry it off actually, because where I drop more ink at this end, you often find this with the Diamine inks, they have lovely surprises in them. Again, I don't know how well that'll pick up on camera, but it's actually got a really lovely greenish tinge over the top of the kind of reddy purple ink. Absolutely love that. I've got quite a few Diamine ones swatched in here actually, and you can see that they often have this lovely variety in the ink colours. So I really hope you've enjoyed seeing all of these wonderful goodies sent to me by Cult Pens. I will leave them linked down below, and you'll definitely see these in use as well throughout future videos on my channel. I hope you're doing really well. Thank you ever so much for watching. I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.